The Bachelor franchise is controversial, but until recently, some behind-the-scenes drama remained under wraps. The most exciting news to come out of the franchise lately was the announcement that Charity Lawson would be cast in The Bachelorette Season 20. This was followed by The Bachelor Season 27 leading man Zach Shawcross getting engaged to Katie Bigger during his finale. They maintained that relationship for months after filming wrapped. In March, the day after The Bachelor's Zach Shawcross finale aired, franchise creator Mike Fleisch stepped down, following more than 20 years with the shows. Mike created The Bachelor, which premiered in 2002, followed by The Bachelorette in 2003. He's been an executive producer on the spin-off shows Bachelor Pad, Bachelor in Paradise, and The Bachelor, Winter Games. Over the past few weeks, several cast members have discussed the programs on various podcasts, sharing some shocking behind-the-scenes revelations. 10 Chris Harrison calls Mike Fleisch a narcissist following Mike's exit on the April 10 episode of Chris the Most Dramatic Podcast Ever. Meghan King asked him if any of the Bachelor leads were narcissists. Chris said none came to mind, as he believed a narcissist wouldn't work very well as The Bachelor. Chris added that Mike was a narcissist, saying, "The creator of the show was, severely. And again, one of the toughest things about narcissism is you will never, I don't want to say never, but very rarely, will that person ever recognize that in themselves." He said that a therapist warned him that, next to a homicidal maniac, narcissism is the toughest thing to treat. 9 Ashley Ben believed that Mike Fleisch was involved in Chris Harrison's exit on the Ben and Ashley I Almost Famous podcast. Ben called Chris' comment a diss aimed at who Mike is as a person. Ashley felt that it was a big word for Chris to use. She speculated that Chris felt comfortable enough to say this because both men are no longer with the show. Ben explained that this is the first time that Chris and Mike's relationship has been spoken about. He questioned if they ever had a good relationship throughout the 20 years that they worked together. Ashley wondered if Mike had a hand in firing Chris, and if Chris is now basking in the glory of Mike's departure. Ben said that he never asked if Mike was involved in Chris' exit, but both he and Ashley assumed it was true. That's because Mike had the final say in who was cast as the lead of the show. Therefore, he probably had the same power with regard to the host. Ben reminded listeners that no one really knows if Chris was fired, or left of his own accord, and how it was legally written up. Ben said that if Mike didn't have a say in it, then he wouldn't have been doing his job. 8 Ashley Yaconetti reveals former producer Mike Fleisch was investigated in 2019. Although Mike hasn't been involved with the day-to-day operations of the franchise for over a decade, he has been blamed for a lot of the controversy surrounding it over the years. Ashley thought that Chris might be felt comfortable calling Mike a narcissist since this is the second round of investigations about Mike's workplace behavior within Warner Brothers. Ashley explained that it's presumed that this is why he's no longer with the show. She said that in 2019, Mike was investigated for allegations about him mistreating his wife. The current investigation is about casting and racism. She stated that he allegedly made questionable comments while casting people on the show. Ashley said that Mike sold the show years ago, but, because he was the creator, he was still there. 7 Ben Ashley said they had no idea who was making Bachelor decisions. Ashley and Ben revealed that Mike was very mysterious, and didn't interact much with the cast. Ben confessed that neither he nor Ashley had any idea of how the show worked behind the scenes, including editing, leads, and casting. This was very strange, as both have been so involved with the franchise. Ashley and Ben likened it to The Wizard of Oz, calling Mike the man behind the curtain. Ben said, "It is a mystery behind those cameras. I have no idea what was going on in the control room. I have no idea what was going on at the offices. I have no idea of these conversations." Because of this, Ben wondered how Mike's exit from the show would affect it, if at all. 6. Chris Harrison believes franchise pitted him Sean Lowe against each other on the April 17 episode of the most dramatic podcast ever. Chris spoke about when the Bachelor producers asked Sean to host the live Bachelor in Paradise, after Paradise Season 2 shows in 2016. He said that they'd pitted him and Sean against each other, but they never really talked about it. That's because Sean had nothing to do with it. Chris claimed that the powers that be were unhappy that had started hosting Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. The issue was the lack of synergy between the two shows. They had knockdown, drag-out, blow-up fights, negotiations about it, but legally, the producers couldn't do anything about it. However, Chris said that they were sending a message to him because no one else had ever hosted Bachelor in Paradise. They told him, "We just feel like it's kinda too inside baseball for you to host those after shows, so we're gonna bring Sean in." Chris stated that he felt that they wanted him to know that he could be replaced at any time, to put him in his place. Sean said that he was very naive about anything going on in the background. All he'd heard from Mike was that conflicts in Chris' schedule were the problem. Chris declared that what they told Sean was an absolute lie. He revealed that Mike called him too. "That's how you know it's really different because usually that person doesn't get involved with this type of thing." Chris emphasized that he never had any ill will towards Sean. That was reminiscent of when he talked to Caitlin Bristow and Tayshia Adams, as they took over for him as hosts, because they were just pawns in the game. Chris said, "It was all about power. It's all about negotiation. It's just business." Chris said it really hurt his pride, but helped him realize that it was a job. 5. Ben Higgins reveals text message asking for Neil Lane. Ringback Ben shared that after a Bachelor Nation split, the lead gets a weird text asking for the Neil Lane engagement ring back. He explained that he had experience with this after his breakup with Lauren Bushnell, to whom he got engaged during his season. However, Ben said that if the couple makes it 2 years post-show, the ring is theirs to keep. The insurance transfers to their names, and they can do what they want with the piece of jewelry. Ben said that some couples, if they're like on the 18th month mark, like I was getting close to, some would think, let's just not say anything for 6 months. Some are like, no, we gotta say something. Like we gotta get back on with our lives. Ben said that Bachelor data listed the most costly rings ever on the show, and he thinks that the ring from his season was the most costly of all, at about $200,000. However, Ben said that he doesn't miss the ring at all, and really hasn't thought about it since. Ashley added that people can buy the ring featured on the show. Ben wondered if there was a drawer or graveyard of returned rings somewhere, or if they are returned to Neil Lane. He said that some people who would be in the know have argued that Neil takes the rings back and repurposes them, reusing the diamonds. 4. Trista Sutter reveals the Bachelorette crew sold her clothes on the Almost Famous OGs podcast. Hosted by Trista Sutter and Bob Guiney, the first ever Bachelorette shared that the crew of the show sold her clothes. Their guest, former Bachelor Ben Flajnik, shared that if Kerry Fettman, the Bachelor wardrobe stylist, liked you as a human being, he would send you home with the Bachelorette wardrobe. And if he didn't, he would keep it for the next season or whatever it was. Ben and Bob both have some of the clothes. Kerry was not Trista's stylist, because he was not yet with the show. However, she had a connection with Saks Fifth Avenue. Trista ended up making a deal with them that had nothing to do with the producers. She got all the clothes, and halfway through the season, she went into her closet and couldn't find them. The crew admitted that they'd been selling them. Even though she was the one who organized it, they sold her clothes. On the Ben and Ashley I Almost Famous podcast, Ben revealed that he wrote a letter to Warner Brothers, asking if he could keep the clothes for future Bachelor appearances because he doesn't dress well in real life. He shared that they delivered 6 boxes of clothes to his house, and he still has them. He said he's had $5,000 suits hanging on a rack for the last 7 years. However, after Ben's season, the show stopped doing that, and the clothes now go into the rental closet at the studio. He added that the crew selling Trista's clothes feels like a very Bachelor thing to do. 3. Kaitlyn Bristowe explains her salary negotiation on her fiancé Jason Tartick's podcast Trading Secrets. Kaitlyn revealed that she hired one of the best entertainment lawyers in Los Angeles to help her negotiate her contract. Because of this, she said that one of the producers questioned if Kaitlyn was there for love or money. She said it was about both. When Kaitlyn found out that they were going to make her compete against Britt Nielsen for the men's votes for the lead, she refused to do it. However, she then said that she would participate if they paid her as much as they paid Chris Soules. Kaitlyn said that she was worried that they would go with Britt because Britt wasn't asking for as much money. However, Shed negotiated that if they chose Britt instead of her, Shed still got money. Ashley and Ben speculated that the producers probably manipulated things to choose Kaitlyn for that reason. They agreed that she was smart. Ashley joked that this made them sway toward the Kaitlyn side. Ben said that they had money wrapped up in Kaitlyn. He said, "It's like a contract negotiation in sports. Like who's getting paid more, and are they gonna get more playing time or not?" 2. Kaitlyn Bristowe shares Bachelor franchise men earned more than women. Kaitlyn revealed that the show offered her $40,000 to be the Bachelorette. However, she told them that she'd only do the show if they paid her as much as they gave Chris Soules. She discussed this on the Ben and Ashley I Almost Famous podcast. Ashley asked Ben about a rumor that the lead must tell producers how much they made the previous year at their normal job, and then they match it. Ben said, "It's not untrue." Ashley said that the reason Chris Soules was one of the highest paid bachelors was because he was, basically a millionaire. And his yearly salary was fairly high. Ben didn't know if the men were actually paid more than the women. He said that they must be really wanted Kaitlyn. That's because typically, when people hire lawyers to negotiate for more money, the show will move on. He said that he didn't hire an entertainment lawyer. Kaitlyn was offered $40,000, but Ben got more. However, in the end, he assumed that she made more money than him. One Ashley Yaconetti Ben Higgins revealed Bachelor salary secrets. Ben confirmed Caitlyn's assertion that the producers play a guilt game to discourage the leads from asking for more money, since the show is supposed to be about love. They'd tell them that the cast would hate it if they knew how much they were getting paid, and think that they're not there for the right reasons. Ashley speculated that they don't want the lead to be making more money than they are. Ben said he didn't think that they were. The Bachelor has been making headlines ever since it debuted in 2002. These new revelations are not only shocking, but give some insight into the behind-the-scenes workings of the show. It'll be interesting to see how the departure of Mike Fleisch affects the franchise, and what the future holds for the 3 long-running series. Sources: The Most Dramatic Podcast Ever, Ben and Ashley I Almost Famous, The Most Dramatic Podcast Ever, Almost Famous OGs, Trading Secrets, Chris Harrison, Instagram.
Love in the modern world is fake when love was meant for joy too. When I find you, I realize that somehow we lie. Love in the modern world, it is fake when love was meant for joy. I know that he hurt you. Your 5 inches of heart is human. Can you be sure? No.